Welcome to Chamber Chat. I am your host, Lisa Battiato, with the Greater Beech Grove Chamber of Commerce. On today's show, we welcome Tom Keeley, Assistant Superintendent at Beech Grove Schools, and Jeffery Marston, Director of Sales at Comcast Business Class. And immediately following the interviews, we'll have the list of calendar of events, so stay tuned. First up, our guest is Tom Keeley. Welcome.
Thank you very much. How are you?
I am good. Can you tell the audience a little bit about your educational and professional journey to your current position? Sure.
I'm currently the Assistant Superintendent in charge of business and personnel at Beech Grove. And before that, this is my 10th year actually here at the corporation. Before that, I was the middle school principal. I've also been the assistant principal, dean of students, athletic director. And prior to coming to Beech Grove, I was in Whiteland as a middle school science teacher and wrestling coach.
Nice. Busy.
Quite a bit, yes.
Yes. I hear a lot of great things about Beech Grove City Schools. A lot of it's because you're on my board, and so I get to hear firsthand.
Right.
Can you let us know a little bit about Beech Grove compared to maybe some of the other schools?
Sure. Beech Grove City Schools, one of the reasons I came here actually is because it's a very progressive district. We have a lot of new programming. When times change and the Department of Education says this is something that is really important, I feel like Beech Grove City Schools steps up to the plate and they work really hard to make changes on the front end, that we don't just wait for others to do it. Currently we're second and third in I-STEP testing scores in Marion County, basically central Indiana, as well as, since we are 2 or 3, I look at that and think, you know, how can we be number 1? Speedway is typically number 1. Franklin Township is an outstanding district real close to us here, and they're right flip-flop 2 and 3 with us, and then Beech Grove. And part of the reason I think that we're an attractive location for students to come, currently our enrollment has increased, is because it's small. It's a smaller school. We have 25 to 26 students per teacher, and I really feel like our staff looks at it as like a family atmosphere. And I think that that is a distinct difference between our district versus some of the large township schools in Marion County.
Something I know about is that you have transfer students.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and how
Sure.
that works?
Yeah, the state funding changed about 3.5, 4 years ago, and because of the state funding, no longer do we get the majority of our dollars at the school corporation from tax dollars. For example, on a $30 million budget, which is a somewhat small to mediocre, medium-sized school corporation in Marion County, out of the $30 million, you might get $8 million from the tax base. So $22 million will come from the student population. And when that changed, along with that changed the funding formula on how we would get paid per student versus the tax dollars, and they relaxed the requirements to require tuition. And so 3 years ago we changed our board policy to allow students to come to Beech Grove City Schools without the cost of any tuition. Since students are in attendance in September, we take a certain district number, right, third week of September, and based on that number we get a set number of dollars for our corporation. It's a pretty complex formula, but in essence it funds the amount of teachers. So it makes sense that the more students you have, the more money you should have to pay for teachers. Since that tuition changed, our requirements kind of relaxed in terms of really investigating who's in our district, who's out of our district. We really want to provide services for all students who come in. And since that date, we have gone up close to 350 students in our corporation. And so now we're well over 2,600 students in Beech Grove City Schools.
That says a lot about your school system, people wanting to belong to your program.
Absolutely, and I thought it might be students coming from distressed districts and things, and that's not the case. We find students that are coming to us from IPS, Franklin, Warren, Perry Meridian, Perry Township, and even Roncalli students. All kinds of students are coming to us because they're looking at the specific programming that we offer. We have a large emphasis on technology now, and have really invested a lot of capital in our technology programming, as well as a model classroom where we have video cameras and monitors and tools for the teacher. Because of that programming, students from all of those districts, almost equal, are coming to our district. And so it's just really students that surround us are the ones that are coming. So it's been a neat program.
You have a good marketing program too, because I can tell you, you have yard signs that I've seen in, for example, near Bluff and Hannah Avenue that kind of caught me off guard one day. Like, Beech Grove, it's kind of not that close to here. So, but that, yeah, it got my attention though, so it works.
We've allowed those yard signs. Any transfer tuition student, any transfer student who does go to Beech Grove City Schools, we ask them the way we're going to sustain the programming that we have and the dollars that we have and all of the really wonderful staff that we have is if we maintain our enrollment. And so we ask all of our transfer students to put a yard sign in their yard and be proud of what program we have going on. And so that's worked out very well. You're right.
Very nice. You got a lot of things I know that's happened recently, like the Science Academy, an FFA chapter, which first urban school in the state to have that. So congratulations. You want to talk a little bit about those programs?
Yeah, we really are looking at our entire 7th grade through 12th curriculum as an opportunity to have students geared toward a very specific, purposeful educational program so that when they graduate, they're not guessing, do I just go to college, do I go to a trade school? Instead, we have carved out our curriculum into very specific science academies, and whether that's political science, or life science, we're gearing them down those courses, and those pathways is what we call them. Gearing those pathways, we had increased numbers of students at the high school, and so we needed to add teachers anyway. And so instead of just adding a math teacher here or a science teacher, we decided to create these pathways and then purposefully put teachers into areas and then guide those students into those direct pathways. And one of them, like you mentioned, is the agri-science program. We're very proud of the agri-science program. We've hired 5 additional teachers. One of them's name's Chris Kaufman, and he's in charge of the FFA chapter here. We're very proud of him. He used to work for the Department of Education, in charge of agri-science and FFA. So we're very fortunate to have a wonderful expert.
Asset.
Oh, he just brings a wealth of knowledge to us, as well as some grant opportunities and things like that. So we've gotten some money from Farm Bureau, and we've gotten a lot of programming. We've been very fortunate that the school board has supported a new addition, and so we have a new Life Sciences Academy addition that has a physics room and a chemistry classroom, and we were also able to renovate our other life science areas, and the other area is the family consumer science. We needed to make labs and better hands-on learning in those areas too, so we renovated about 7 other classrooms, so it's been nice.
I understand you have an open house coming up and perhaps planting a tree?
That's correct, yeah.
I was supposed to ask you also what kind of tree you're planting, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Well, I would imagine it would be a beech tree, wouldn't it?
That would make sense.
But I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know if they want a flowering tulip or something. Who knows? But I would suggest a beech tree. But
that makes sense.
yeah, with the new addition, we're going to do a grand opening and a ribbon cutting ceremony, and it'll be an open house, a welcome to everybody. That'll be hopefully on some of your calendar of events. Maybe you could
Tuesday,
put that
October 9th.
Put on there. Yeah, we would appreciate that. We just talked to the school board on Tuesday night about that grand opening. And we invite not only Beech Grove students and parents and community, but also anybody outside who's interested in our Life Sciences Academy, because we will be opening up January new enrollment in that department, in that area for Beech Grove High School.
What's the interest from the students? I mean, do you have a feel?
Absolutely. We have certainly higher numbers already in family consumer science, but also in the life sciences area. The hands-on approach of that learning style, I can't even tell you how excited our kids are to be able to do labs in class, to watch things grow. There's also a small animals lab that we have, so we have little bunny rabbits and chickens and things. And so this last summer, well, we hatched eggs, we hatched chickens during the summer just as kind of a trial run. So I was pretty excited about that.
Do you name them?
No, they were only there 2 days. So, but it was neat. It's really neat, and that really interests, that real life experience really interests a lot of our kids. It takes them out away from that textbook, away from just their technology tablets that everybody has, and moves them into some real life examples of what they might be doing when they do move on to the workforce.
Yeah, I always think it's fun to learn something, but not really realize you're learning.
Right.
You know, when a teacher stands in front and reads from a textbook, you know, you're getting kind of force-fed, but actually being hands-on and seeing it is just.
Yeah, and it's changed. It's changed the way we see our kids. It changes what tools we put in their hands, and then kids are sitting in groups. And you're right; they're learning very technical aspects and going back and reporting information. But it feels like it's kind of fun, and so that takes that emphasis of, you know, a lot of pressure off of the tests and things like that, when some of their lab experiments are actually testing situations where they just have to prove that they know what they're doing. And that's it's really changed the focus of our education.
Exactly. Probably don't have a lot of time, but I know one of the main differences in this school compared to others is what we're sitting in right now is this beautiful studio. How unique is that to other schools, and are you familiar? I mean, I know my own kid's school does not have one, so I'm kind of impressed with it. But
well, this really is the brainchild, actually, Dr. Kaiser and our administrative team, as we were looking at, again, future opportunities for students. We want them to have all the tools they can to go into the interest they want to do. And we fashioned our videotaping and our production designation all around hiring a teacher, a licensed certified teacher who understands what it takes to go through a program at Ball State University. To be quite honest, I mean, it was fashioned after their post-secondary educational opportunity, where you can go into sportscasting or you can go into TV production. And so we fashioned our high school performance, and we even do the middle school. We have a news network every single day in 7th and 8th grade, so that when they get to here, they get hands-on opportunities. And when they get ready to go into video production at Ball State, let's say, which is one of the leading programs in the state of Indiana, they've already got 6 years of experience being on camera, working with the lighting. There's a lot of backstage kind of production situations where you have to learn the whole gamut. So it all kind of runs along that same thing of our agri-life sciences, these pathways to have kids absolutely prepared to have the best experience they can have when they leave Beech Grove High School.
We are about out of time. I really appreciate you being with us today, and I look forward to the future, because I only know between you and Dr. Kaiser there's going to be some exciting things coming, and I read about you all the time in the paper too. So
we appreciate that.
Always,
good coverage.
The paper is really good to you guys, and anyway, I'll be at the grand opening, and then they'll be at the calendar events listed at the end of this chamber chat today.
All right,
so,
I appreciate it, and thank you for inviting me on.
Thank you. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with our next guest, Jeffery Marston, with Comcast Business Class. Welcome back. I'm really happy that our next guest has joined us today, Jeffery Marston with Comcast Business Class. If you are a regular viewer of Chamber Chat, you hear me thanking Comcast Business Class all the time. But I know there's more to Comcast Business Class than being our sponsor. So welcome, Jeffery.
Happy to be here.
Tell us, what is Comcast Business Class?
Well, Comcast Business Class is basically all of our business offerings that we provide to small, medium, and large enterprise business customers. It's actually our fastest growing segment in a very robust suite of products that we is about as cost effective as a solution that is out there. And in recent years, we've emerged as the industry leader in our specific markets.
Is there anything Comcast Business Class specializes in over your competitors?
Well, the three key products are our data, voice, and TV. Obviously, we were founded as a cable company. We actually are the largest cable provider in the United States. We are also the largest data provider in the United States, so those two products are kind of a household name. Our voice offering, or our phone service, is one of our faster growing products as well. We're the third largest in the country, number one in call clarity. according to the Yankee Group in an independent study. Our network, or our fiber backbone, is the largest privately owned and privately managed fiber network in the country.
So how is your internet speed?
Unmatched, in my opinion. It's a very scalable product. It's important to mention that we have an offering for the smallest mom and pop or even home-based business, all the way up to large hospitals and universities. The state of Indiana is also a customer of ours. So we have everybody on both sides of the spectrum, and of course everything in between. So our speeds, through our technology, we're able to offer a product to smaller businesses that are typically reserved for large companies with much bigger budgets. So it's a product that we're very proud of, and something that, like I mentioned, is a very popular and industry-leading product.
Internet speed's very important to me. I'm sure technology is just a huge thing in our lives and our family, and we've had Comcast, we've had the whole package deal. And nothing's worse than when it doesn't work. So,
sure.
Do you have any downtime, or is it pretty consistently?
Actually, we have a very healthy network here.
Okay.
Our speeds, like I said, are quite fast. The technology is very different than what people are used to from the phone company, where it's historically traveled over a twisted copper pair. Mm-hmm. This is over fiber and hybrid fiber coax, which is why we're able to provide a much faster speed, a much more powerful level of service, and some of the other offerings that come along with it. So if, as the phone company has been trying to milk everything they can out of their existing network, we, over time, have created this massive network of coax and fiber, and now as the technology evolves, we continue to take advantage of it and dominate our space.
You talked about phone service. With the cell phones emerging, everywhere, and I know a lot of people are doing away with their residential. I mean, you don't see that in the business. I mean, most businesses need telephone service.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a certain amount of security that comes along with having a hard line as opposed to wireless. There is, as you mentioned, there's less latency. It's a redundancy that I think most businesses need. One of our other business segments is we actually are very involved in cellular backhaul. So we've even entered that space because of the health of our network and because it is so far-reaching. But I would agree with you. I think businesses are still very much dependent upon wired services and hard lines as opposed to the wireless cell phones.
So tell us a little bit more about your TV products.
Oh, well, as I mentioned in the beginning of the conversation, this is how we were founded. Mm-hmm. We actually have just acquired NBC, so we continue to make TV programming a big focus of ours. We are the largest in the nation, so we now have expanded that to our business clients. It's something that a lot of them keep in break rooms or in waiting areas, and it's become more and more of a popular product because of the ability that it gives some of these businesses. As we see a lot of our competitors eliminate programming because of costs and relationships with the networks, we actually continue to add, and the Big Ten and some of these other things that we carry exclusively, or other competitors are starting to eliminate from their lineup.
My son would be excited to know Big Ten Network is very near and dear to his heart.
Yep, bars and restaurants, and it's for medical practices. It's a little different than highlights these days. You put Sprout on there, and you
I'm
keep them
surprised
glued on.
like more businesses don't have TV, especially like the restaurants. And there's many times we want to go out to eat, but there's a game, particularly a Colts game on, and you're kind of limited in some of the places that have the TVs, and so I like that market.
Yeah, for sure.
How is Comcast Business Class active in the community?
Well, that's a good question, because I think when a lot of people think of Comcast, the perception is that we're this large corporate conglomerate that's detached, and although we're a large Fortune 50 company, people lose sight of the fact that we employ thousands of people in Hoosiers across the state and throughout our region. We're very involved in philanthropy. We have a Comcast Cares Day where we mobilize 60,000 people across the country to improve communities and schools and things like that. In fact, we have a meeting tomorrow just about the United Way and our involvement in that, in Dr. Neely would be proud. We have an Internet Essentials product, or an offering that we provide to struggling families or low-income households, where we provide internet connections so that students can keep up with some of the other that may be a little bit more privileged in that area.
I'll pass that along to him.
Yeah.
He would love to know that,
Sure.
actually. We know you as a sponsor of the Chamber Chat, and you're also going to be you're a sponsor of our upcoming breakfast networking meeting with Gary Dick, which I'm excited about, so hopefully you guys are too. Being a part of the Chamber, you're also a member of the Chamber. Was there any discounts or special offerings that you give to other Chamber members?
Yep. In fact, we have an affinity relationship with the Chamber. So not only are we providing discounts to your membership and special advantages to your members, we have through that relationship we pay non-dues revenue for each of those sales. So we also help support the Chamber. We have a regional sales manager here, Richard Wright, who can put together a cost-free telecom analysis. His number is 317-431-4229. So again, Richard Wright, our local dedicated sales manager here, 317-431-4229. So any of those details we're happy to explain, as well as some of the advantages and discounts that are available to the membership.
So do you offer customers the comprehensive bill analysis, and
we do.
How does that work?
In fact, that same person I just mentioned, Richard Wright, has a number of people and people that are dedicated to this area, but he also can provide that bill analysis at no cost. In fact, you know, I mentioned earlier, in most cases we're quite a bit less expensive and also a much faster and more robust service. There's a lot of other ancillary products that we offer. You know, our relationship with Microsoft, our partnership with Norton, so all these things are free to our customers. So when you you know, aggregate over the course of a year or some of the other bills that people have, it's a tremendous saving in addition to the monthly recurring charges as well. So again, I'll plug Richard one more time. His number's 317-431-4229, and he'd be happy to put something together for you.
Well, thank you for being my guest today. I appreciate learning more about Comcast Business Class, and look forward to a continued relationship with the Chamber, and we really appreciate what you do and what you do for the high school.
Oh, me too. We're great to be a part of it. It's been a great relationship for us, and we really look forward to the future too.
Thank you for joining us today. I would like to thank our guests once again, Tom Keeley, the Assistant Superintendent of Beech Grove City Schools, and Jeffrey Marston, Director of Sales for Comcast Business Class. Stay tuned. In a few minutes, we will have our calendar of events. Welcome back. There's lots of things going on in Beech Grove and the surrounding areas, and let's get right to it. Beech Grove Public Library, there have lots of things happening there. Please check out their website at www.bgpl.lib.in.us. Beech Grove High School presents Little Shop of Horrors as their fall musical. Performances are scheduled for Friday, October 5th through Sunday, October 7th. Tickets for adults are $7, students and children $5. The Spotlight Theater kicks off their 2012-13 season with the show Bug. Bug is by Tracy Letts, directed by Lori Raffel. Show dates are October 5th and 6th, October 12th through 14th, and October 19th through 21st. For more information, including the ticket prices, please call 317-767-2774 or visit the website at www.spotlight-players.org. On Tuesday, October 9th, Beech Grove High School will be having an Arbor Day tree planting ceremony, plus the Beech Grove High School Science Academy Open House. The events begin at 6 p.m. For more information, please call 317-786-1447. The next Chamber Luncheon is Thursday, October 11th from 11:30 to 1 at the Hornet Park Community Center. Members are $10, non-members $15. First-time members guests are free. Please RSVP by Tuesday, October 9th to gbgcoc@beechgrove.com. Join Mayor Greg Ballard and city representatives at the 48th Mayor's Night Out on Thursday, October 11th, 2012 from 6 to 7 at Heritage Christian School, which is located at 6401 East 75th Street. For more information, please contact Noel at 317-408-1991 or by email at noelle.malatestic@indy.gov. The Benedictine Inn Retreat and Conference Center, which is located at 1402 Southern Avenue here in Beech Grove, is hosting their 5th annual Catholic Identity and Doctrine on Monday, October 15th from 6:30 to 9. Enjoy a casual dinner with like-minded people. The fee includes dinner, a presentation, a chance for questions and discussions. It's $25 per session. For more information, please call 317-788-7581. On Wednesday, October 17th, from 7:30 to 9 a.m., the Chamber is hosting a networking breakfast with Gary Dick. Chamber members and non-chamber members are invited to enjoy a scrumptious breakfast, make new connections, and get the opportunity to hear Gary Dick. The breakfast begins at 7:30 at Hornet Park Community Center. Members are $10, non-members are $15. First-time members guests are free. Please RSVP by Monday, October 15th to gbgcoc@beechgrove.com. A big thank you to Comcast Business Class for sponsoring this event. Please save the date for the 2012 annual dinner, which will be on Thursday, November 15th at Primo Banquet Hall and Conference Center at 2615 National Avenue, Indianapolis. Door will open at 5:30 p.m. Please consider donating to the silent auction. More details soon. For more information about Greater Beech Grove Chamber of Commerce events or to become a member, please call 317-803-9109 or send an email to gbgcoc@beechgrove.com. More information can be found on the Chamber's new website at www.beechgrovechamber.org. Also find the Beech Grove Chamber on LinkedIn and Facebook.